Hello and welcome back to Steve's Retro Loft. It's time for something CD. Sorry, it's time for a CD. It's Speccy ClassiX 3000. 3000 classic games on one CD. Yeah, I'm dubious about that as well. Anyway, it's a CD that was from my good friend, and I'll read this because I always get it wrong. Rich's Random Retro Reviews. He bought a load of software and this was in it, and he's got no interest in this, so yeah, he thought he'd send it to me and we'd have a look. And actually, I'll put a link to Rich's website, either there or there, probably there. I think. Anyway, yeah, I'll put a link to Rich's site, and Rich likes a lot of retro PCs and Macs and other retro technology, old phones and PDAs and things like that. So yeah, take a look at his site, and yeah, there you go. Anyway, time to have a look at this and see what classics are on the CD. So let's take a look at the contents of the CD. Now I'm going to ignore the folders with the emulators on there because they mean nothing to me because I can't run any of them. But if you take a look at numbers, and I can just load up a game quickly, like 3D Death Chase. Let's go for that. There you go. It loads up straight away, and yeah, you can see the game. So, I mean, and that's a great thing with snapshots. They do load up quite quickly. You got 3 weeks in paradise. So, there are some classics on there. So, a bit more melodic than I thought it was. Can't really remember the game. Obviously, it's a Wally game, so yeah, it's part of the sort of family of going around and doing things and doing daft things, and obviously, yeah, there's a Pajama Armor and a few of the other games. I forget the names of all these microgen games. So there you go. That was that. So I can just bin that quite quickly. 180, I assume, is darts. They got 720, which I'm sure is the skateboarding game, isn't it? I think. Interface 1 may be quiet. That's weird. Never seen a game that wants an Interface 1. But yeah, so that's obviously the titles. So if I go back to the actual just stuff, so you got stuff in others. Now the 1648 mag, I think there were cover tapes from that magazine. I don't remember it. I don't know if it was a mail order thing or not, but obviously there's copies of it. A1200, I don't know what that is. So was it a publisher or not? I mean, as far as I know, A1200 was the Amiga. So okay, so yeah, that was that. And you can just go through things alphabetically. Now, the way the game's been organised is a little bit odd because you'll have obviously things like Adrian Mole, I assume, 1 and 2, and then you've got all these other part PT files. So don't quite know what those are. Then you got things like these odd, weird sort of folders within folders. Yeah, this is the problem with the CD in general. There's lots and lots of stuff on there, but sometimes it's a little bit vague. Beachhead, obviously, Behead, but I know it's Beachhead. So back to school, run a snapshot for that. So I'll glide back to school. Never understood why it did this countdown at the start of back to school. It was quite frustrating. Yeah, bin that because it's quite noisy at the start. But yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff on there. Now there's some stuff which probably isn't going to be on here because of licensing. Now I know the Ultimate titles tended to be a little bit tended to be excluded a lot of the times from these things because of copyright reasons. Now, I don't know when this CD was produced back in 1999, whether they were owned by Microsoft Studios at that point, so they might have been a little bit more relaxed. Now, I know a lot of times when you see compilations, a lot of the Ultimate games aren't on there, but when I look at this. Now, I'm sure I did search for Saberwolf and found it. Okay, it's not there. Just have a look. Saboteur. Great game. Hasn't got the new version of Saboteur, obviously. You can see my last video for that one. So, yeah. So yeah, there's obviously games that are going to be missing. Now, I say when I have looked at this previously, I have seen some other things on there. So I think Lunar Jetman is on here. Which just surprised me, because I said I think the game was actually copyright, not copyright protected, but it was one of those sort of games that were protected by the owners in terms of appearing on these sort of CDs. So yeah, there's lots and lots of things. There's lots and lots of choice. So we got Set Willie. Yeah, and you get little things like this. Obviously, this version is Set Willie just seems to have the character jumping. So I'm not sure how good the snapshots actually were. There were some interesting ones on there. Obviously, Set Willie 2. Yeah. And then you got Jet Set. So. Obviously it's got the hack, so I think you can just put any code in at that point. There we have a version of Set Willie that seems to work compared to the old one. So, yeah. Yeah. Let's bin that off. So, yeah, that's the J's. So, yeah, there was a lot of choice. You do get a lot of choice on there. So look, anything in the P's, so pence, no, that's not painting. Oh, penetrator. Oh, S to disable sirens. Oh. Yeah, it's nice when they actually put some instructions on the screen. So yeah, that's what you have. I'm not going to do a walkthrough of the games, and I say there was a hell of a lot of these titles on there. Some I've heard of, some you can work out. Obviously, it's limited because it's a CD. I think it's limited to 8 plus 3 in terms of the old MS-DOS limitation for file names. Especially because it's not going to be running on newer versions of Windows, and the Mac OS has always had longer file names. But obviously you were limited to what you could fit in 8 characters. So sometimes it's a case of trying to figure out what the hell the game is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here. If we go to Z, yeah, you got Zeus, which is the assembler. And then you got Zeus ASM, which is the assembler. And you got the Zeus Z80, which is, yeah, the assembler. So yeah, this is the problem with this CD. There was a lot of stuff on here. I'll just see what Z80 is, which is Zeus Assembler, Z80, Z80 file. So yeah, if you wanted a copy of Zeus Assembler, it is here. But yeah, this is the problem. There's a lot to repeat, and you don't always know what a lot of these things are. So you obviously zoom. So yeah, you've got a snapshot and you've got a Z80 file. So let's have a look at the Z80 file. Yep, there you go. And yeah, the snapshot does pretty much the same thing. So yeah, a lot of things are repeated. So I suppose if you've got an emulator which only plays Z80 files and an emulator that only plays snapshot files, you've got a lot of choice. Oh, and there I am. I've managed to expire myself. So yeah, excuse me getting carried away on Pyjamarama. So yeah, you've got lots and lots of choice. And I said the big problem you have is, oops, is getting lost. So we'll have a look at something else. So lots and lots of choice, but sometimes when you got a lot of choice, yeah, it's always a bit of an issue. So Prowler. Yeah, there's a lot of games I've never heard of, and would I call them classics? Probably not. Prince of Magic. Prisoner. That looks like a text-based adventure. You know how good I am at those. Planet 11. Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes I don't know if that's corruption on the game or that's how the game should have looked like, but Pyro Man. Yeah, so many games, so many things I've never ever heard of. So yeah, there you go. That's 3,000 games for you. For some reason I'm stuck on the P menu, but that's it. I'll also have a look at Panic. Yeah, another one I've never heard of. So many things in the P area I've not actually seen. Okay. Not sure what Painter is or does. I assume it's an arcade game of some sort. Pac-Man, nice and easy. Nope, got bored of that. Not sure what Patch is. Yeah, Pascal, assume it's Turbo Pascal or something. Not Turbo Pascal, that's for the PC. Just a Pascal emulator for the Spectrum. Pedro. You can almost read it. It almost says Pedro at the top. It's just an awful font or awful style to try and to do. So PH Lights. This almost looks like educational software. Oh yes, now I found the title for my next few videos. No, only joking. So yeah, as I said, choice is good, but sometimes a bit too much is, yeah, a bit too much. Well, that was a classic. So there you go, that was Speccy ClassiX 3000. Probably filed under too much choice is a bad thing. Yeah, I find it's nice to have all these titles, but when if you don't know what you want to play, doom scrolling through a list of 3,000 titles is okay, but sometimes you don't know what you'll load things and you'll restart them because you don't really want to play it. And one of the other problems you have with titles like this or CDs like this is there's no manuals. So if there's a game that doesn't have user definable keys, you don't know what the keys are. So it's always a bit of a pain. And also, obviously, sometimes the inlays do give you a glimpse as to what to do to the game. So, unless it's an ultimate game, then it tends to be almost a mystery. It's like the clues on 3-2-1. If you remember them. But yeah, that was it. That's Speccy ClassiX 3000. It's a nice resource to have. It's always handy to have these little things as a backup to what I've already got. And say some of the snapshots work, some of them don't. It might be because I'm running them on a Next or on an emulator on my Mac, so it's difficult to say. If I had the original emulator working, and as I don't, because I don't own any of these sort of devices I can run it on, then it might work. But there you go. Well, until next time, I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye bye.